So I'm Sheela Patel. I live in Mumbai and my day job is as the director of SPARK, which works with the National Slum Dwellers Federation and Mahila Milan, who themselves are founder members of the Shack Dwellers International. I presently chair the board of SDI. Our relationship with GLTN, I think, is from its inception. It's a very natural partnership for SDI and for us in India as SPARK and SDF and Mahila Milan, because at the center and at the heart of our work is the production of identity and recognition of the urban poor in cities and the pursuit of secure tenure for them. And since these are the most foundational activities of GLTN, we have a deep commitment to be in this partnership. Okay, so we look at a couple of things that for us have been very significant. First of all, within SDI we have a tool in our enumeration work which is to do with working on profiling all the informal settlements in the city, and GLTN adopted that and it's now part of the tools. So that makes us feel very good that the tool that's produced by the slum dwellers is appropriated by a global tool network. And the other thing is the production of tenurial documents that come out for individual households in our member countries that form the basis of the creation of the STTM as a tool. If you operate within the spectrum of all these time-bound commitments of SDG and climate change and resilience protocols, then I think our collective challenge is to both produce scalable tools that can help the volume of people who need to be integrated into sustainable development, and for organizations like GLTN to both influence development interventions, to use data as the foundational stone for what they do, because unless things are documented and understood and their impact made known, the scale doesn't come through. The second thing is that more recently you have disaster, migration, infrastructure investment that are going to produce challenges of who lives where and who gets recognized or face evictions. So just to give you an example, there are more people migrating into cities from conflict areas than going to refugee camps. What is the protocol of documenting them? What's the mechanism by which they don't have to wait for several decades to get an identification mechanism? You have disasters, and we all know that when disasters occur, if you don't have identity papers, you don't get development assistance. And finally, if you look at infrastructure projects, these are all increasingly private sector investments. And neither government agencies nor the private sector doing the design and the execution recognize and document the existing informality in those geographies. And so if nothing is done, all these people will again face evictions. So what role does the production of data and identity have in all these things? I think are the new challenges for GLTN. Data, data, data. If you don't have data as your baseline, you don't understand the total scope of what you're going to do, If you don't have foundational data, you can't measure what your investment has produced. And if you don't produce identities out of data, then you've lost the development game. So you're not in the race for development goals if you don't work on these issues.